Hi, ladies and gentlemen. Let's proceed with our session with our previous topic. The next subtopic is hearing. Our previous topic titled as listening skills. So, since we can't listen without hearing, there is a need of us to know what is hearing, because you can't succeed on listening without hearing first. So let's know, let's read, let's learn what is hearing. Hearing refers to the ability to receive sound through an ear. The ability to receive sound waves through an ear. The process or function or power of perceiving sound, specifically the spatial sense by which noise and tones are received as stimuli. That is hearing. You're just receiving sound without by using ears. That is, we cannot listen without hearing. We cannot listen. You can't achieve access. You can't success to listen without hearing. That's why we say hearing and listening goes simultaneously. As hearing is started, we start with hearing followed by listening. I think I tried to make myself clear, and you have got me what is listening. So now let's see what are the differences between listening and hearing. First, listening is a conscious choice that demands attention and concentration, while hearing is passive occurrence that require no effort. When we say it is conscious, one decide him or herself to choose where to listen, where to ignore. While hearing, it is passive. You can hear even though you don't want to hear that sound. So hearing requires no effort. It is just hearing the voice. Since we use our ear to hear. The next one is listening is a skill which allows one to make sense of and understand what is being said, while hearing is a physical ability without any effort. That's why we have our topic which we learned today, which is listening skills. Listening is a skills. Listening, you have to learn how to listen. You can't listen without learning the strategies of listen, what makes somebody to achieve the effective listening. So, need sense, allow one to make sense, understanding which is being said, while hearing is just a physical ability. Does it need any effort to hear? The next is listening use other senses of organs such as hearing, seeing, sometimes the sense of touch too, while hearing uses only one of the five senses organ, which is hearing. Listening uses senses of organ like hear. When you listen, you can hear, you can see. Also, sometimes you can sense like you touch. While hearing, the only one sense organ used, which is ears. The fourth difference is listening is voluntary act, while hearing is a simple that act of perceiving sound, or it is involuntary. Listening is voluntary, while hearing is involuntary. When we say about a voluntary act, the action which one decided willingly to do that thing, while involuntary occur without any conscious. You don't decide, but occur automatic. Listening is a skill where a person needs to learn. Not everyone has the ability to listen, while everyone can hear unless there is physical disability. As I say that listening is a skill. Person have to sit and to decide, or have to sit and to learn how to listen. As you sit as a, I can see you that today you sit and learn how to listen. Not everyone has the ability to listen, while hearing everyone can hear, unless you have physical disability. By conclusion, hearing defines only the physical measurements of the sound waves that are transmitted to ear and into the brain, where they are processed into audible information, while listening goes far beyond your natural hearing processes. That is general differences, that the hearing defines only physical measurement of the sound wave which are transmitted into the ear, then into the brain, while the listening goes far beyond your natural hearing process. It is where the information or message is interpreted. Now we see barriers to effective listening. First, barriers are divided into groups. There are physical, psychological, physiological. So now let's start with the physical or environmental barriers. These are obstacles which affect listening and in most situations they are easy to correct. These are obstacles which affect listening, and in most situations it is easy to correct them. Physical or environment. For example, problems with hearing aids. If there is problem in hearing aids like that, microphones, that is the example of hearing aids, or if you hear, if the speaker speak maybe with the microphone or speaker has the problems, means even the hearer you won't hear what is he or she is speaking well. So this will act as the problems. The correction is maybe changing or repairing that speaker so as you can hear well what is said. Another is the use of microphones. We do not project as it is supposed to be heard, as the previous example. These 2 points work simultaneously. The next one is noise. You can't hear, you can't understand if there is noise. That's why I said when you listen, stop talking, because noise will make you not to understand what the speaker is saying about. The next one is if it is difficult to see the speaker, or if there is something more interesting to look at. If you can't face speaker directly, you won't succeed, and it will act as a barrier for you to succeed the effective listening. Or there is something more interesting to look at. I am talking, or the speaker is talking here, but you look outside to the window, or your face is facing to the different thing apart from the speaker. you won't succeed, you won't listen well, because listening involves the use of verbal, maybe gestures, so it will be difficult for you to achieve the effective listening. Next is the chair. If the chair is uncomfortable, if you didn't sit in a very comfortable chair, you won't succeed, you won't listen effectively. If the room is too hot or too dim, you won't succeed to smell. Now let's see the mental or physiological barriers. Bias or prejudice, that is negative attitude towards the speaker or topic. Psychological, this is the psychological barriers or mental barriers. If we judge the speaker before she or he has started to speak, or if you while the speaker is speaking but you still judge about his or her appearance, maybe look at her dress, look at how the general, I can say, the total appearance of the speaker, this will act as the barrier, because you won't listen what she or he is talking about. Instead, you will concentrate on his or her appearance, so you won't understand the topic. So that's why they said do not judge the speaker's appearance. Instead, judge on the what he or she is speaking about. Judge on the topic. Concentrate on the topic rather than the appearance of the speaker. Next is anger, frustration, own anxiety, nervous or worried about. Make sure that you are not angered, or you don't have any anxiety or nervous. Don't be worried about anything. Be confident. Make your mind that I'm going to listen. Leave all obstacles which you think will distract your mind. Next is status difference. You can see that you can think about yourself that, look at that person. I am of higher status compared to her or to him. So she or he can't give me a good speech. I won't listen to him or her. This will act as a barrier. So you have to listen, even though you don't, or you have higher status compared to the speaker. The next is physiological barriers. Physiological barriers about the one's body. For example, headache. If you have headache, it will be difficult to listen well. As you know, headache is. The next one is hearing impairment. Hearing impairment, if you have difficulty in hearing, if you encounter difficulty hearing disabilities, this also will act as a barrier for you to succeed the effective listening. Next one is tiredness. If you are tired, you will end up on sleeping, my dear. Next is discomfort or pain or illness. Then the last one is poor eyesight. If we don't see well, also will act as a barrier, because you won't observe the speaker when maybe he nodding his head or his arms or any gestures you won't observe. So it will act as a barrier for you to achieve the good listening skills. Next one is linguistic barriers. This is barriers which concerns with the language. The first one or example of these are jargons, specialist languages. If one use certain jargons. I mean, for example, when lawyer come and they talk about the vocabularies which basing on his or her profession, it will be difficult for you to, I mean, legal text. If the judge come to the speaking room or to the speech room and talk or giving you the speech in which a lot of vocabularies she or he used, it is legal, and you are not familiar with that legal language, it will be difficult for you to catch or to understand. Inappropriate tone. It will be difficult for one to understand. The very common example, it is from the Swahili language. If somebody say, nimekupata barabara, nimekupata barabara. You see, nimekupata barabara, nimekupata barabara. The first barabara of the first barabara means the road, but if the second one with the barabara, with the stress at the first B and the second B, that one act means I got you very well. So the appropriate tone will act as a difficult because the person will get confused. I got you in the road, no, but I got you well. You see, so there is need for the speaker to use the appropriate tone. Another is hastened manners or manner. The next one also badly organized material, complex vocabularies, complex sentences, delivery too fast, delivery too loud. If you deliver the message, if you speaking to the audience, do not be too fast, also do not be too slow. Be at the middle level. Also, do not speak too loud. Also, do not speak too low voice. If you speak loud, you are going to bore the majority. If you speak at low volume or low level voice, also people won't understand you, won't hear you. At the end of the day, you will be bored and leave you. So this also will be as a barrier. The next one is perceptual barriers. Perceptual barriers, perception, like social, cultural background difference, appearance of the speaker, mannerism, accent. Some tend to judge the manner of the or appearance of the speaker, also tend to judge the accent of the speaker. On the issue of accent, if the speaker uses certain accent which will be difficult for you to get or to understand, also will act as a barrier. So you as a listener, try to understand those accents. Also ignore the appearance of the speaker, then concentrate on the topic. Next one is content barrier. Subject of discussion does not interest. If the topic is not interesting, one won't listen. You will use the habit of listening. The speaker goes on for too long, or when we have heard it before, or if the content is too difficult or simplistic, or content is repetitious. So make sure that what we're going to talk, what you're going to speak, it's new to the majority. The next part in listening is listening and note taking. As I said before, that when you listen, you have to take a note, the important hints. This will help you to remember, because you can't listen a lot of words at the same time and to understand them all. So you have to take a note. So let's see, when you take note, isn't necessary to write down every. Do not write every word. You're just taking the important key terms as outline the major ideas. Listen for keywords and phrases. Do not take everything in which the speaker is saying. So you have to take the major ideas, then keywords and phrases. Develop your own shorthand and learn to abbreviate words. Make notes about any example speaker used to explain their ideas. You have to develop your own shorthand and learn to abbreviate words. Write your words or your hints in abbreviation in order to save time. Note-taking involves recording ideas and facts that you learn in class to help you to remember and see them later. You see the importance of taking notes. You will record down ideas and the fact that you have learned in the class. Then this will help you to remember and see them later. This is very applied to the university students. When lecturer come to the lecture room and teach them, the lecture session always, it is too long and the lecture goes too fast. So you as a student, you have to take note, and most of them, they know how to take note. Most of students tend to take notes so as they can remember when they will pass through. Now, why do you think the note-taking is important? The note-taking is important because you became an active part of listening and learning process. You as a listener, you as a student, you became an active part of listening and learning process. So you create a history of your course content. You have written record to view of study or study later. The next one is you reinforce what is communicated verbally. You reinforce what is communicated verbally. The next one, strategies to increase comprehension and improve. Looking for non-verbal cues that are facial expression and hand-body signal. Looking for visual cues, copy and content, and the visual aids. Use symbol and abbreviation to save time. Some of the examples of common symbols abbreviation are presented as follows. In note-taking, you don't write every word as it is. Maybe if it will be number one, you don't write number one in long way. You have to use, or you have to write in a short way so as to save time, and also it will be easier for you to go simultaneously. You go simultaneously with the speaker. Now let's see those common abbreviations. Many of them are derived from Latin. That's why you'll be like it's not familiar with our context. For example, CF. CF in Latin language is known as confer, which is equal to compare. So if we want to compare, use CF. The next one is IE. In bracket or in the origin way is Id East. In our common language, our English language, this means there is. So you can see one right IE to mean there is. E.g. example, great. Example, great. For example, which means for example. The next one is NB, notable, nota bene, not well. So if you think or if we reach at the point that you have to insist something, we normally use NB. You can see in our daily life use NB. The next one is ETC, etc. In the Latin language, this is known as etc. In our common use, English and so on means and so on. So if the speaker mentioned a lot of things, you can mention too, then adds etc to mean and so on. The next one is NO, numero. In our English context, this means number. So you can, if maybe you want to show here the place to write number, maybe number 1, you can see NO1, you see, number 1 instead of writing number 1. Up to there, this mark the end of our session. Now let me leave you with the following task. I hope you have got me well, and you will be a good listener, and you will be a good note taker, and you will achieve the learning. You will achieve to be a good listener. You will be the one who you can stand in front of people and proud by yourself that I have got the learning skills. As I said before, that listening is the skills. So up to here, I can say that you have got enough material for you to have or to say by yourself and prouding by yourself that I've got the listening skills. First is, let's see the task. Explain the differences between listening and hearing. I want you to give the differences, 5 differences between the listening and hearing. The next one is explain how listening is an important part of public speaking. Explain how listening is an important part of public speaking. As I said before, that listening is a skill. Why people learn listening skills? In order they can be good listener. Where can you apply these listening skills? In the public speaking, when the speaker maybe during the political meeting, any public speaking, it is where people speak, the speaker speak, and you as a listener or the majority listen. So you think how listening is? Tell me, explain in detail. The physical barriers are those which concerns with the body, while the mental, those which concerns with the with the brain, as I said before. So I want you to give the differences between physical and mental barriers to effective listening. Then give 3 examples of those barriers. The 5th question is explain at least 3 ways to improve listening. Give us the 3 ways which will help you as a good listener to improve the listening. Thank you for watching. Bye bye.